Awesome. Yeah, really great to meet everybody. I think I've met most of you so far. My name's Brittany Milner, and I'm a PhD student at Simon Fraser University.
Brittany Milner or Miller?
Ha!
Sorry.
I spelled my name wrong on video. You can keep that there to remind me about that for life. I'm going to blame that on autocorrect.
You could just change your name. That would be an autocorrect thing to do.
Yeah. Milner. But I get that happens all the time. People get my, whatever you want to call me. PhD student at SFU, can't spell my last name. And John is my supervisor at SFU, and we work for Salmon Watershed Labs. And we've been working with Kwäch'än River Kwäch'än over the past few years, helping out the fisheries department. And I'll talk a bit about that today and all the technology that we use. I thought I would go through my STEM journey since this was like a youth workshop and just kind of showing people the different paths that can be taken. So I graduated high school in 2013 at Porter Creek Secondary in Whitehorse. And my plan was that I would finish my undergrad by 2017, and then I would be a veterinarian by 2020. And you can laugh at that because it's 2025 and I'm still in school. Yeah. And that's, me and my mom and my sister when I graduated. I just thought that'd be a fun photo to share. Science is hard, and this is what really happened. So I graduated in 2013. I went to the University of Saskatchewan to do the animal program to become a vet. I'm really bad at chemistry, and I was in small classes in Whitehorse, and school was a bit different here. And being in a large university was really hard for me. So I failed a few things. I took a little bit of time off. I wanted to go to Madagascar, but then there was like an Ebola breakout. But then at some point I got a job at the fish ladder in Whitehorse, and I just really fell in love with salmon. And I went to Vancouver Island University. They have a really cool program that is either a diploma, so you can do a 2-year diploma in fish tech jobs, which is super awesome. It's only 2 years, and I had so much hands-on stuff. I did the Bachelor of Science, but because it was a BSc in those courses, I got to do all the other fish courses, so I got really good hands-on science or fish experience. So we got all these practicums. It was honestly amazing, and then did the BSc. I failed chem 2 more times, so seriously, I'm not very good at school. I just keep doing it. I took some, and I think people should know that instead of me just putting my name up here and putting all the degrees, it's not that easy. I went to Yukon College for a bit before it was university. I did chemistry there. No, I didn't do chemistry. I did calculus and physics and a cool water course, but it was really hard. I was trying chemistry again there. I ended up doing it online while I was working at Porcupine in Old Crow, and I was counting fish and doing chemistry at night. Then I finally graduated 4 years after I planned to. Yeah, thank you. I don't need a clap. It was just to show that people, it's not that easy, and I just want people to know that there's other ways to do it. It doesn't have to be in 4 years. Then I did my master's at Simon Fraser University, and John was my co-supervisor, and now I'm doing my PhD. Woo. So things are different, but I'm really happy it went that way, and now I'm working with Kwäch'än River Kwäch'än. Yeah. So the Salmon Resiliency Initiative, this is an initiative that's led by Kwäch'än River Kwäch'än First Nation, and then it's in collaboration with Simon Fraser University, so where John and I are from, University of Washington, and University of Montana. Is that, amazing. Chris Sargent is there if you ever want to hang out with him.
Who is that, sorry?
Chris Sargent. He's in the...
I'm in a very different lab, but I would love the connection. We'll talk.
Yeah, perfect. And so this initiative is awesome. The aim is to understand how climate change is affecting salmon, but also people in the watershed and all those interconnections. And then with this information, how we can inform, or TRK can inform land use planning and policy to promote the resiliency of salmon in the watershed. Phil made a good point that there's no salmon in the Taku or Atlan. There's a couple, and they used to make it a long time ago, but the Vren's slowly going down. But we work on the Taku, so just over the mountain over there, like really close actually. And so we ask a few questions like how warm and cold are the sub-watersheds in the Taku River watershed? Is some of this habitat suitable for salmon or any kind of fish really? How is the fish habitat changing and what might it look like in the future? Are fish even here? Because we checked if fish were in this crazy glacier area. It's part of one of our projects. And then what animals are using those habitats in the Taku and how might salmon influence their behavior? And for all of these, I'm going to be talking about the technology that we use. I also thought we can like play with the vibes of the room, but if you ever want to interrupt me just to like ask about the tech, we can like talk about it and then move on. Or if there's no questions, I'll just keep talking. It's up to you if you want to hear me talk more.
You're doing great.
Okay, so first question is how warm or cold are sub-watersheds within the Taku watershed? And we use these like really cool little tidbits, they're called, and they can monitor water every 15 minutes for up to like 5 years or so whenever the battery dies, and it's like continuous monitoring. And we put these all over the watershed, and the way we do it is with like a rock drill or around a tree, and we use rock bolt hardware, and then we kind of just like connect it to whatever substrate we need to. And electrical tape is a magical thing. Cherish got to come out and do a lot of this with us last year on the Tulsa River. So we can just pass that around. So the project we're doing, so far we have 50 of those all around the Taku watershed. There was 43 since 2021, but yeah, the team's been slowly adding more and more. And now we have over 1 million points data.
I just wanted to show everybody like where we are. So like Atlin's kind of up here, and I showed how like the Taku is like a transboundary watershed, like a transboundary river. So like Juneau's over here, just so you understand what we're looking at.
Yeah, I could have put that in there. Sorry, guys.
South of us, just a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, very big. We're super lucky to get to go into the watershed.
Question about the sensors.
Yeah.
How do you get the data off of them?
So you can either use this shuttle, which to me is like a black hole of scariness, and it's a different tidbit than the one that's there, but you basically put it into this and click a button and it downloads all the data. The way I like to do it is on my cell phone, and there's an app for it, and it's Bluetooth. So you take it out of the water and just download it straight to your phone. And it's really fun because you can like change all the settings on it if you need to. You can look at all the live data from like the past however long it's been in there. It's really cool and super easy to use. We have those in a lot of the different fisheries TRT camps. And yeah, basically anyone can download the app and then they can just upload it to their phone, and then they can send the data to like me and John if they want to, sort of thing. Yeah, it's super cool. So you can pass that around. And this is what the data can look like. I know there's a lot of graphs here, and this is just some of the watersheds, but this is Chris Sargent, who works at UW. Now you know what he looks like. Yeah.
Look out for him on campus.
Yeah. But yeah, so these are all different years. It's hard to see, but you have the different years here and they're all together. And you can look at this and kind of pick out like, what are the hotter watersheds? And so here is Kwäch'än Weir, which is one of the weirs that TRT counts the salmon coming in. And then Tulsa. So Kwäch'än is one of the hotter sites. And then Tulsa, which is where Cherish got to come with us, it's one of the colder sites. So this data is really awesome for TRT, just to know which sites are getting hotter. Maybe we do different protections for salmon and which sites are colder. With climate change, we know these habitats or rivers are going to be getting warmer with time, and they might become more suitable for salmon. So there's just like different bits of information that we can use for policy and information. Another question is looking at water quality. So we can go around and kind of test the water and understand if the water is suitable for salmon. And for this, we use this big guy. And these are super awesome. They're different to the Tidbit Hobo, where the Tidbit Hobo does continuous measurements. These are only point measurements, but they take a lot of different data. So they look at like dissolved oxygen, temperature, turbidity, which is like the clarity of the water, conductivity, pH, like so many things.
Turbidity.
Turbidity. Did I spell that wrong too?
No.
Oh. Turbidity. Yeah, so that's basically like how clear the water is. I'm really scared of my spelling now.
You're the boss.
I'm not, you're the boss.
You haven't seen that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought I passed it to you.
No, it has to go this way.
I literally passed it to Kyle.
Yeah, and if you can turn it on too to see the screen.
Okay.
But yeah, this is super cool. Like you can, yeah, it measures so many things, and you can kind of pick and choose what you care about, what different water quality measurements you care about. So this is what the data can look like after you use it. This is the Tulsa River where we went with Cherish, and over the past few years, we've sampled 139 sites all along the river. At the top of this is the proglacial, or is the Tulsa Glacier, and then as you go down is the Taku. And each one of these measurements is one of those like point measurements that we took on the way down. So this is the kind of thing you can see where if you're at the beginning, like right below the glacier, it is more turbid, and then as you go down, the water's getting clearer, most likely due to like other inputs and the dirt settling. And then, yeah, same thing with temperature. As you go farther away from the glacier, things are getting warmer. And this is the kind of information you can get. For this study, we're basically trying to understand like where salmon are on these glacier rivers, and then trying to predict how far they're going to move up towards the proglacial lakes. Okay, this might be more interesting for you guys, I don't know, but yeah. This is Diane Whited. She is an absolute like space wizard. She works at University of Montana, but the team has been trying to figure out how habitats are changing. So Diane can use Google Earth Engine, and this is basically showing the Tulsa again, and you can look at the time at the top, and it's just showing how much the river has changed over time. And earlier it would be way more braided, but with time things are stabilizing a bit more, and yeah, getting more stable, so there's less braiding.
By stabilizing.
Stabilizing's like because so much is flowing from the glacier, there's way more braiding. So if you look at the earlier years, there's like all these little like spaghettis. But as things stabilize, it's like you ate more spaghetti and there's less spaghetti. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, which is really great because when things are more stable, trees can start to grow and more animals will come in and things just get greener. So it's a good indication of like life growing there and more animals showing up.
With the fewer braids.
Yeah, fewer braids. And our helicopter pilot the other day said it looks Marsy because it's all red, which I thought was really fun. Yeah. Yeah, does anyone have any questions about that? It's super fun to look at. This is with the same technology with, now it's Landsat. So it's like more defined high definition areas. And again, this is Diane Whited's work. And this is kind of the same thing I was telling you guys, where it's less braided and kind of stabilizing and maybe becoming a bit wider, and things are getting greener. So that's showing that like further on growth of trees, just like things getting greener, more vegetation, more productivity, basically. So that's we've been able to look at these habitats, and just understand how things are changing in the past. And then we can also look into the future, which is really, oh no, this is a different one actually. This is again Google Earth Engine, but for instead of rivers, it's lakes. And it's the same team. It is Diane at University of Montana working here, but she and Kara Pittman at SFU have been able to look at 181 glacial lakes all around BC, Yukon, and Alaska, and understand how they're changing. And this stuff blows my mind. But basically with satellite imagery and like indices, they can look at the temperature and turbidity at lakes for the past 40 years, just through images. And then we can understand how things are changing, which is really cool. And so this is what the data would look like, for example. So from here on over is, several different lakes, but then also as you go over here, there's more glacial influence. So these are kind of like more forested areas, and then, or not forested, but less glacial influence. And then over here again, you see Tulsaqua. And with time, you can see that things are getting warmer in the lakes. But if you look at these ones up here, they've already kind of gone through their glacial recession kind of phase, and they're already kind of warm, and they don't have as drastic of changes to like cold to warm. But if you look at these glaciers, because they're retreating, and they're retreating fast, you can see how fast they're warming up. So with that, we can look back into the past and just basically show that things are getting warmer and clearer, which is really important for fish. And then Kara, who also worked on that past project I just talked about, can use GIS to basically make future projections with glaciers. And she has all this cool information and models where they know kind of the formation under the glaciers, and she can predict where salmon rivers might be and where new salmon lakes are. And she's done one paper that she published for her PhD and predicts that there'll be over 6,000 kilometers of new salmon habitat. And now she's doing the same thing for lakes. And so again, this is Tulsaqua, and this is where we got to go with Cherish. And Cherish and John and I were standing right at this peak? Yeah, it was right over here. Or was it over here?
Yeah, it's over there.
Yeah, we were standing right here last year.
Yes, we were.
Which, yeah.
Yes, we were standing right here.
Yeah.
The helicopter landed on the side of a mountain, and we were just like looking out across all this glacier, and that's where John and I cried.
Yeah, that's also where John crashed the drone.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, John.
It was a cheap one.
It was,
That was, yeah.
I don't know the drone prices, but
I was ready to jump in.
you, yeah. But this is the kind of stuff that Kara can do. So this is showing the retreat over the next 70 years.
Yeah, it is.
What year will we get the drone back?
That's a fantastic question. That actually might be a salmon lake in the future, so never. It might get clearer though. Somebody might find it. It's gone. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that Kara can do with GIS technology, which I think is amazing. We're doing this for 181 lakes, BC, Yukon, and Alaska. And a part of this project is to, and for my PhD, is to estimate when salmon might start to use all these areas, which is important for, again, policy and informing salmon management, because right now it's not considered salmon habitat, so anyone can go up there. So say, like, this is also going to be new salmon habitat, but it's also really interesting for mining companies. So you have to kind of think about what is future habitat and how do we protect these areas. This is just a quick one. We haven't had our data back from this, but we can ask again, like questions like, are fish here? And this is really good information for us because we're studying these new glacial systems. So we can go in, scoop up a bunch of water, and that water gets filtered through a little like piece of paper and it collects all the DNA. Then we can send that off to different labs. This year we're trying one out in Japan, and they can basically use eDNA, which is environmental DNA, to tell us what fish species are in these places, which is more cool technology. I'm not a geneticist, so I don't know how they do it, but it's really cool. And then this is Chris, or Mark Connor. It might be Mark Connor, the TRT fisheries coordinator, using, he has a YSI in his hand and a water level gauge. So we use the YSI probe absolutely everywhere we go. We've been using it the whole day too for our game camera study. And then so last project I'll talk about today is, another question is, how are animals using glacial floodplains? This is a camera we put out yesterday on the Willison Glacier, which is the first photo I showed you at the beginning of my presentation. And these are camera traps that we're using, and they're super awesome. Yeah, they last pretty long, like 6 months. They can last in -40. I'm still learning how to use them. I'm a fish scientist, and now I'm becoming a wildlife scientist. It's kind of fun. But I thought you guys would like to hear this because there's some cool technology that we use on the back end. And that's using wild tracks. And I picked this program, one, because it's really good for collaboration and the data is TRTs. There's other programs like, it's called, I'm blanking, but it's based in the States, but the data becomes public. So that's kind of something you have to think about, is like where the data is going. And I'm sure you guys have talked about this all week. So this is just one that I've found that's been really great. It's also awesome because everyone can enter this one program and I'll look at the photos. So I can look at the photos from here, but TRT can have a password, the password, and they can, or their own account, and I can add them to it, or they can add me to it, and then we can all look at it together. So it's really awesome for collaborations. But it's really helpful because after like 10,000 photos, way more than that, it uses AI to pick out animals. So it saves a lot of people like me on the back end to actually find the animals, where it picks them up and then I just go in, collect, and confirm that it's a grizzly bear, basically, which has been really awesome. I'm really enjoying using it. This is a grizzly bear on the Tulsa, and he's chasing a salmon. It's swimming away. Yeah. And yeah, that's been really great. I've really been liking this project, and game cameras are super awesome. And this is not our data. This is data from another paper we haven't had too much data yet, but this is what it can look like. So this was a study done in Africa, and they looked at what animals show up as you go higher up this mountain. And this is the kind of thing you can look at, is just all these different species and where you start to see them show up, which is really awesome. And yeah, so there's a lot of different jobs you can do in STEM as a researcher or whatever have you. You don't have to go to school for as many years as I have. There's like really awesome fisheries technician diplomas. There's a really awesome diploma and program at Yukon University, so you don't even have to leave the Yukon. I have a lot of friends doing it, and they have really cool jobs. You can be a biologist, a researcher. You can get really awesome at GIS, just like Kara, and do all these like cool predictions. And there's so many more. Yeah, if anybody ever wants to contact me, I wrote my name right there. Yeah. And yeah, you can reach out anytime, and I'm always happy to chat about our work. And that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Brittany.
Yeah.